Alright, so I've been posting some negative things about the state of the game we all used to love and perhaps still do, but maybe we just need that love reignited. So today I decided to create a video talking about ways you can still have fun when playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm super excited to get into it, and hopefully this sparks fun and interest for this game for you guys again. And if you have your own suggestions, of course, feel free to share them in the comments, and also like the video if you enjoy it, of course, because at the end of the day, we all do just want to have fun playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's get into it, but before we do, I just want to quickly remind you that Sleeve Chief dropped some beautiful accessories on Sunday, so make sure to hop on their website, and if you're purchasing anything, make sure to use code SHADOW for 5% off, of course. So let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is going to be retro formats. Now, I've been very vocal about enjoying Edison, but there are many other formats to get into. There's Goat, Tengu Plant, of course Edison, and you can also go for some fan favorite formats like Necros and Shadow, or even some tier 0 formats if you're one of those people that really want to play some high skill intensive Yu-Gi-Oh! When it comes to tier 0 tier elements format, or even build some very similarly looking decks but still have a lot of fun in Zoo format where everything was just Zoo, even if it was Zoo Draco. What's great about retro formats is the fact that the ban list is never changing. So whichever cards you invest into, even if they're higher rarities, you know you're going to be playing with them for the rest of your life pretty much, or however long you still enjoy playing Yu-Gi-Oh! What also happens is people are able to develop many strategies, and what we always love to joke about is just talking about decks that are popular right now in Edison, for example, and then maybe like imagine taking Amarilis or something like that to an event in 2010. Like, I just think it's hilarious, you know, thinking about tech cards from way back then, or just decks in general, and everything that's changed lately, and how things would look really differently if this was 2010 right now with all the information we have at our disposal. And of course, it's only Edison because that's what I'm most into, but you can do that with all of the formats. Now, personally, I don't really enjoy Goat that much, but there's a lot of enthusiasts out there. It is just that very raw Yu-Gi-Oh! In its raw form pretty much. And you can also play Tengu Plant, which I think, like, I tried playing Fabled. It is the cutest thing ever. I just love the Fabled monsters, but it's like you play Yu-Gi-Oh! That still has a bit of a modern vibe to it, because you're able to play Xyz monsters and stuff like that. And you could argue like synchros are also modern. I don't know where you want to draw that line, but I guess it's a little different from Edison. I personally, of course, enjoy Edison, but you can do whatever you want is my point. And you can also go for formats from 2015 and stuff. Like, the thing is that not every single format is going to be great. We all know this, but you can choose to play a specific time period. You can invest into cards that are of higher rarities because their price is never going to really go down unless they're getting reprints, but it doesn't really matter for older prints. If anything, it's going to go up. So if you're investing into things just to own them because they're pretty looking, you probably should do it as soon as possible. And then you really can have high value cards for the rest of your life, which, you know, if that's something that means a lot to you, because Yu-Gi-Oh! At its core is also still collecting. And I mentioned, you know, modern versus non-modern formats before. However you want to look at it, every format like has something different going for itself. And I really, really enjoy this. There's different play styles, different decks, different interactions, and even cards that are printed at that point in time. So you can do whatever you want and still enjoy it. And most of these topics today are going to, you know, revolve around locals or just playing with your friends, because that's when you can implement those types of things. Or if you really want, you can go to Ultimate Time Wizard tournaments, because they still refuse to call it Edison and Goat, which just, I get triggered by that. You can do whatever you want. And the most important thing, something I already touched upon before, is the fact that you can develop different strategies, because the ban list never changes. And that's why there's so many cool decks coming out and getting refined and just improved throughout the months. I don't know, it's very wholesome and I enjoy it a lot. So look into retro formats. I promise you will not be disappointed. Now let's move on to the next topic. It's going to be a custom ban list. Now this is, I guess, kind of similar, but not really. What I'm all for, because I've seen some custom ban lists out there and they're all kind of trash, if I'm being honest. I don't think people really know how to balance things. They tend to ban too many things. My point is that if you go to locals and you decide for a custom ban list, why not just, for example, like when people used to have an agreement, a gentleman's agreement, if you will, of not citing in Jin, right? That was a thing for the most part. And you can do that. You can just choose to not play a certain deck, only a certain deck at locals. Imagine saying like, okay, you cannot play anything with a Fiendsmith engine for locals. I think that's fair. I think that's fine. It's like just regulating the amount of tier 0 or tier 1 decks that can be present in a tournament setting. I'm all for that. I think a custom ban list should be along those lines. But something else you can also implement is to just kind of regulate the amount of cards people play. It's, I guess, a custom ban list, but not really. I'm thinking something along the lines of what happened for Master Duel Worlds last year, and I assume it's also going to happen for this year. So obviously it was teams, so it's a little different, but they had multiple decks, which is also different. The one thing they all had in common is the fact that you could choose the amount of cards that would be like spread out between the players. So, you know, for a play set, and they could choose one card that all of them included and stuff like that. It's just very specific rules that you can try to implement. For example, let's say you can only run 3 play sets of a hand trap, or you could only run 1 playset of a hand trap that negates effects like Veiler, Impermanence, Mourner, stuff like that. You can only choose 1. Or you can only play one-offs of hand traps. Again, all I'm saying is hand traps because we all know low-key, they are kind of an issue. I guess high-key. But you can just decide for, I don't know, let's say you only choose a couple boss monsters that you can go into, and not every single deck is able to include, I don't know, an Appaloosa. Like, just make some kind of regulations that you all agree on, and I think a locals experience could be much, much better. But as for the last point on today's list, it's going to be Master Duel. Now, this is a little more, I guess, specific, but it's just Master Duel. When you think about just having fun playing. I know, don't come for me. I know that ranked or ladder or whatever can be kind of brutal. I know there's weirdos on there that just play stupid decks just for the sake of it. But Master Duel in its core is a very pretty looking simulator. And I don't know, if you're not really grinding out of your mind, if you just want to play a game like here and there, or if you really want to grind, because you can and you don't need to spend actual money for decks IRL, you can just play it. I don't know, I feel like Master Duel really gives a lot to the players. I know it has some issues, but I feel like you can really enjoy playing this game and have it be very visually pleasing, and you can feel rewarded for grinding because you're able to afford all of these, you know, ultras or whatever, and not actually spend money. Or you can choose a deck that's very random. It's like your pet deck and you're trying to go as high on the ladder as you can. It's prettier dueling book, and I don't know, it has simulations. I just think Master Duel is also cool because of the ban list, obviously. So if you're one of those people that kind of dabble in, you know, OCG and stuff and want to try things out with Max C and kind of live on the edge, that's what you can do if you want. The other ideas are a little more specific, what you can actually change in the game and have fun and play with your friends. Master Duel is just Master Duel, but I figured I would throw this out there because lately people have been, or I guess not lately, just overall people kind of don't like Master Duel because of some inherent issues that it has, which I totally understand. But Again, in its core, it's a cool simulator that you can use to your advantage to get better, to get to know certain decks, to experience playing with Max C and in a different way, because I'm sure you're able to learn a lot just by playing Master Duel or even getting back into the game, because it might be a little easier than trying to do it in person if you're a returning player, which I think that's really important. And you're not leaving Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole. So whenever we do have a cool TCG format again, which fingers crossed, as always, hopefully it happens, you can just come back and you know you've had a ton of experience on Master Duel already. So I think that really counts for something and it's worth something. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and I gave you some ideas. At the end of the day, this game is supposed to be about playing with your friends, about collecting, about being innovative and stuff. So hopefully we all still remember this. And yeah, like the video if you enjoyed it, and please share your thoughts and let me know what you're doing with your friends and family to still have fun. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!